Hey, it's been a long time since I've done one of these. I was looking at my YouTube channel, and the last video I posted was June of 2018, so almost 2 years ago since I sat down and talked to the camera, which is something that I used to do all the time. Like you know, half a decade ago, I was making a video a week about some camera or something, and we were just talking, I don't know. But when you're cooped up in the house for the last 7 days and unable to leave unless it's like an emergency, what else are you gonna do other than like start revisiting old things, right? So that's where I was at. I've been sitting, working from home at my computer here. This area around me has kind of been my life for the last 7 days. I've left the house, I think, 3 times, and 2 of those were for the grocery store, and one was to head over to my mom's real quick. But yeah, it's so you just sit here and you think about stuff and you wonder what's going on and where things are going to go, and you have to keep your mind occupied somehow. I think that's really the hardest thing for me is just thinking. It's like I wake up and my bedroom's right on the other side of that wall there, so wake up, walk over and take a shower, which is on the other side of that wall, walk into here, sit down, have my cup of coffee, 6:30 in the morning, and start working. And I just stay here until 6 o'clock at night. I'll log off probably. And then like 2 nights ago, I was playing Cyberpunk 2020 with some friends online, and I was doing it right here. So, there was another 4 or 5 hours of my day that I was just sitting here, and it kind of starts to like get to you. You do whatever you can to set up routines. Like every morning I've been keeping a little journal and just recording some thoughts about the day, kind of how I'm feeling, and any new like big changes that are happening around me in terms of like closures and stuff like that. And so that's been helpful. And like I have a little pack of notebooks here that I'm working on at any given time. This front one is my daily just log. I record 4 items in it that I did every day. And so things like that help. And this one is my work notebook, and this is just all of my meetings and everything that happen on a given day, or things that I have to be doing, which is also helpful. Like keeping this, and I brought this for my work, and that's given me some structure, which has been nice. But I don't know. I didn't want to like turn on the camera and start talking to it to just like ramble on about what I've been doing, because that's not super exciting. I mean, I think it's been like a minute and a half that I've been talking now, and I've gone through everything that's going on. But I made a post on Instagram, not on my personal account, but on this other account for this kind of like car thing that I do with a good friend of mine earlier today, and it was kind of I just level set it. It was the same thing. Like it's been a hard fucking week. It's been very draining emotionally, and I wonder a lot about like what I should be doing and what the right way to communicate what I'm doing is. Every year, as part of this car thing, my friend and I, we plan this pretty big camping trip. It's usually like 4 to 5 days. The first year we did it, we drove all the way out to the Tetons and back over the course of 3 days, which was exhausting, but it was a ton of fun. And then the past few years, it's been like we drive 7 hours, 8 hours in one direction, find a spot to camp and hang out there for a few days with a whole bunch of friends. And this is the time of year where we usually like keep planning that and work on it. And so I'm scrolling through these posts on Instagram from this time last year, and it's like they were just so filled with like this like fun optimism. We have this kind of voice and tone that we use for this Instagram channel. It's very carefree, and it feels weird posting to that channel right now and being carefree. It just feels kind of like inappropriate. And so we're still planning the trip for this year. Right now it's happening in July. So what's that, 4 months away, 3.5 months away? And I'd say I'm optimistic that we'll be able to do it. But it's really hard when you think about like, where's everyone going to be in that amount of time, and is going on a 5-day long camping trip going to be the priority? And I don't know that it is, but I don't know that if we didn't do this, like, would we be able to do anything at all? And by that, it's really about like the things that we do along with this this car like group that we have, and that's really like, this is a very long-winded way of me getting to what I wanted to talk about, which is Zine. Believe it or not, like this all does come back to photography, which is kind of where, despite my own like, I wouldn't call it distancing, but you know, it's definitely a stepping back and trying to look at the bigger picture of things over the last year or so, maybe 2 years. And what am I doing with it, right? How am I photographing it, and is what I'm taking photos of important, and how is it important? And so this is the last zine that I produce. It was a pretty big departure for me. It's called Camp Style. Original content, and that comes from this car thing. So actually, I wish I had a sticker or something around me. I should have prepared for this better, but what we do is our group is called, our car club is called 4x4, which is super cheesy, but it comes from when we were teenagers and we all had, you know, our little like cars that we'd race around and pretend we were super cool in, despite not really being cool at all. And it was fast forward, and it was with the number 4. And so we always joked about, you know, like, oh, if we all go camping, or if you know, people have kids and, you know, grab an SUV or something like that, then we'll be 4x4. And so as this kind of annual camping trip evolved, the joke became less funny and more real, that, hey, this is what we're doing. And so 2 years ago, I just like, we were planning this camping trip, and I made a logo, and got some stickers printed up as part of it, just to give out as kind of a surprise. Been like, hey, it's the same group of friends that we've had this whole time, for, you know, the last decade and a half, or almost 2 decades now. Here, let's just commemorate this somehow. And it's kind of evolved. And so one of the ways that it's evolved is like doing a whole bunch of other stuff associated with that as almost a brand. And this was something we did last year. So we did it July 15th, 2019 is when it was published. We made 50 copies of it. It's now sold out, unfortunately, for anyone watching this who might want to pick it up. But the title of this one was Be Alone Together, which is something that we really identified with as part of camping. Like, the whole reason that we go camping is to get out there and to really be away from everything, but we're doing it as a group. And it felt kind of relevant right now. And that's a big part of what, you know, spurred me wanting to talk about this, is that it's like, I'm here, I'm alone, kind of. Jenny's, you know, downstairs. So we're alone together, right? And within this zine, there were 4 different segments that we did. And this is why it's such a departure for me, is because, like, if you look at the last page here, we have a contributors list. I've never done a publication with contributors before. And how to send submissions in. So like my submission here, I'll find something, was like this, again, a camping trip we took. And so it's disposable photographs from that trip. And just, you know, like having some fun with it, and just mocking stuff up. We did another one that was with another camping trip back in November, and you can see there's a theme here, where we went through what's called the Washington Backroads Discovery Route, which is this trail that goes from the southern to northern edge of the state of Washington, all off-road or using forest roads. We didn't do the whole thing. We did a couple days of it, but it was a blast. And, you know, I don't know how well you can see these photos, but fantastic scenery, just unbelievable. And then one other thing we did was, as we talk about like products and the things that we make, right? We did this layout, which was kind of a catalog of sorts, but really more of an archive. One thing that I've been really obsessed with, that I haven't really shared a whole bunch in terms of photography, has been just the documentation of items. And so that's really what I wanted to do here as well, was just like showcase everything that we've produced. And there really isn't any story behind a lot of what's in here. It's really just like, hey, here it is, here's a picture of it, here's the item number. And yeah, that's all it is. It was a pog sit that we made. And so the intent behind this is really to be super open, as long as it's really related to the outdoors in some way, and there's a cohesive story behind it. That's what's important for us. And so we did this first issue. It actually came together super fast, and because of that, there were some things that I think could be better. But we've been talking about doing another issue ever since then, and that's where we're at right now, which is we have some content for an issue 2, but like if you're at home and you're thinking about going outside a whole bunch like I am, send something to me. Like, let's get in touch, because I need to be talking to people and collaborating and working on something. Otherwise, I'm going to go insane. And if you're watching this channel and if you're identifying with me, then you're probably feeling the same. And so what really all we look for is, like 10 photographs. Film is awesome, but it can be digital as well. It doesn't have to be a photo even. It can be drawings or artwork, or if you have an essay or anything, like, let's put it into print and have some fun with it and get it sent out to a whole bunch of people. Because we'll front doing another print run of 50. And yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, I guess. I'll probably end up making a few more of these videos as time goes on. I'm at least in this not quite quarantine, but hey, you have to work from home until the 1st of April, at least right now. So I'll be sitting here doing this and probably thinking about a lot more stuff like this, and I don't know, I guess I'll see you around. Thanks for watching.